which was a bit of a shame. And to be fair, I mean, I want to kind of just get to the next stage in the game so we can carry on working on some different stuff, because it looks like there's a couple of interesting things that are going to be coming up in the game, from what I can tell, especially once we've kind of like established what the hell this massive thing is here. So we will do that. And also, I'm not sure whether or not this game being in beta, if this is actually like my land, or this land is actually exactly the same for everybody else. From what I've seen online, from the Let's Plays that I've been watching, sort of just real quick, kind of like looks on NerdCube and stuff like that, everyone seems to start with this island. So it may be that, in fact, everybody's just on the like a coastline like this at the moment. But as I say, I really don't know. So, but interesting to know. If anybody knows, do let me know in the comments as to whether or not the land is currently just standardized and beta-ish, or if this is actually my permanent land that is on the world of Jupiter. Because this game, I'm not sure if I mentioned before, but it is actually, everybody's playing on the same world, like the Curiosity project that they did. Everyone's on the same world, doing the same things, and they all have their own sort of like piece of land that's just like a permanent thing on the server. Which I mean, I love the idea of that, but I don't know whether or not we're actually working on that server yet, or whether this is all just sort of basic tutorial stuff, and what I'm doing here is just the same as what everybody else is doing. I'd like to think that I'd be doing it a bit different, but I don't know. Calendar is a science card and needs a buttload of interesting things, but I do have some kindling. Wow, 1 kindling. But I don't know what that does, and I guess I'll have to wait until I unlock it to find out. Here we go. This is now the actual floor, so you'll see that it's just redrawing all this stuff for us as we take it out, and it lets us just work on the land efficiently so that it's all on the same level, and everything seems to be, you know, kind of working quite nicely towards these larger houses. So everything's becoming bigger. The way that the actual housing planting, the automatic housing kind of blueprinting is done, you can see that it actually, every now and again, even though it has all the land available to it, it does have a smaller house as well. One there, and then there's one here as well. But that's absolutely fine, because that obviously, you don't just want to have all larger houses, because that's quite unrealistic. You want to have a couple of smaller ones. And what I wanted to do for the front of the coastal houses, for the Captain's coastline here, I wanted to just have sort of some bigger ones and some smaller ones. So you can see I've tried to sculpt the land to be able to have that kind of available. And then it's just like sort of the budget seafront ones at the back here, where you've got to, you know, you pay a little bit of money to be on the seafront, but you don't get that kind of sea view because people are going to be in the way. And there isn't any government set up yet, so there's no planning permission or anything. You can just be like, I'm building a house here, and then nobody can say anything about it. And that's just kind of the way it is, really. So get used to it. Right, so this is all going quite nicely. This is going to be genuinely the job for the day, is just kind of keep on pushing that back until you have like a sort of a more extreme hill done. Take out all these, get the nice bit of faith. But it's like up here is sort of just, I want that to stay. So it's just sweeping around here, sweeping up there, all flat, all around here, and then down here. So, you know, we're kind of getting there, slowly but surely. Let's go back and check on our regular civilization over here. Everyone seems to be doing a good job. Nobody died this time. I didn't hear any deaths. Everyone over here is very happy. That's all done. And then we just need to fill in these houses here. So if we just go boop, 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 that should be maybe 2 more. Because you can have obviously, if you have like a surplus of people, they can go and work together on a building. And a building, like a larger buildings especially, can take up to 5 people. This guy, for example, is not going to know what to do with himself. He's just going to wander around aimlessly. If he keeps on walking that way, he might get into sphere. Yeah, sphere influence. Go over there and build that. Perfect. And then, so here, we've got, I mean, a good amount of people working on the various different things, which is nice. And it's all going quite well, and it all looks quite good. There could be a house there, I think, but it doesn't seem to want to build on there. So, once they finish building all the houses, we'll kind of connect up the land, and then we'll start to move over here, which will be quite nice. But yeah, I mean, so far this has been a really fun game. I did originally the first Peter Molyneux game I played. I think it was either the first or it was one of the first. Was the Magic Carpet game on a family friend's computer, which was a lot of fun back in the day. And then I also had Populous for the Master System, Sega Master System, because that was the first console that I had, and that was a hell of a lot of fun because you got to do pretty much exactly what I'm doing here. I mean, the first ability you had as a god was the raising and lowering land, rather than the sort of this kind of fluid pushing and pulling. You didn't really have that. It was more just a very basic kind of raise this piece, raise that piece, and you could like pull land out of the water and make it really interesting. And the really cool thing about that was that when you did that and you made land that was then sort of like habitable, people started to build houses and then larger houses and eventually castles on that land. I remember sort of you find out exactly where your civilization was, the people that you had in the world of Populous, and then you basically tried to make their land better. And I think I remember correctly, if you saw some enemies' land and where their people were starting to settle, you would just do your best to make that land worse. So you would kind of like affect it. I love these walls. Look at this guy right here. He's Tiberius Wolf, and he's just like chilling out, having a good time, going over into the non section. Does he change colour when he goes into the non section? Oh, he just stops. He's just going to chill out there for a bit. Well, that's fine. No problem at all. Oh, he's changed his mind. He wants to go around there now. I assume there's a little bit of AI working in there to where you can actually walk, which is fine. I think we can actually just take his name if we want to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let Tiberius just sort of like wander around until my people get there, and then I might have to sort him out. But yeah, so you kind of like you imagine that you see your civilization, and then their land's a bit rocky, a bit hilly. They've got one person building a house or whatever, living a little sort of like camp hut. You would then kind of like improve that land and work on that land to make them become more expansive and to become more prosperous. You'd flatten it out, and then they would build more houses, and eventually the way that it worked is you had like a set kind of size area that was flat. If that sort of set size area that was flat was quite small, you would have like a little hut. If it got larger, it would be like pretty much like Godus is here. You would start off with like one of these, and then as the land got better, it would be this, and then sort of like going up and up and up. And eventually, if you had enough decent quality land around you, you could build a castle. And then when you could build a castle, you could then build knights in those castles who would then sort of roam around. I don't remember if you had any control, sort of direct control over the AI of those knights, but they did have a lot of fun in kind of like destroying the lands and destroying the sort of like civilizations. And eventually, I mean, amongst the other things in the Populous game, where you had like earthquakes that you could do and you could flood places and stuff, the main thing ultimately was sort of like a knights versus knights, who had the most kind of like cavalry to bring in basically. And it was an amazing game for its time, and I really enjoyed it, and I think that's probably what got me to invest in this Peter Molyneux's fantastic new game here, because as we all know, his name carries a reasonable amount of weight. And Guildford is only about an hour away from me, so if I didn't like it, I could go over there and be like, "Peter, what have you done? This is terrible." And then he'd be like, "I'm sorry, CaffCast." Like that. If only that was the case. Flint, not a resource we need right now, and Otre, which is something, apparently, I don't know what, that's fine. It looks like we've actually managed to get this done pretty nicely and pretty quickly, and also not using too much of our faith as well. We've still got 12,000 left. I mean, I'm well aware that it does end up costing quite a lot to do this. I think it's like, I don't know exactly how much per click it's costing me, because I'm in the K figures, so it doesn't give you like individual clicks. But we were on 12, we're now on 11. But I'm pretty much happy with this now. I mean, what I want to do is just get a house to be here. So we'll keep on pushing this back. That gets to be bigger. And then we want a house just to be able to fit in here. There we go. And then we'll see if we can just get that one bigger. There we go. Perfect. Right. So that's now fine. That's now fine. It's really happy with that. Again, we just carry on sort of just pushing and sculpting and moulding, and eventually we'll be happy. I want to get this house to be a 2 as well. There we go. And then that's how I think we're going to sort of like decide the coastlines. We'll just keep on doing that. Keep on working to bring these larger houses in. We're still going to come round to here. We're still going to carry on taking out all this, and I could just right click all this, and just take care of it. But for now, I just want to roll a quick look at how everyone's doing down here. We clearly need some more people to come out. Down there. Good boys. That's it. All down there. Everyone go. Go on. You might be a bit out of the sphere of influence. No, I think you're going to walk into it, so that's not too bad. And then there's 3 houses left. Nope, you're not. You're too far away. Oh well. There's not much I can do about that. He's just, like, been carted out into the wild, and he'll probably die, because there's no room for him at the inn. He's homeless currently. Which is a shame, but there's not much I can do about it now. I think that this is a testament to go and show how crowdsourcing and crowdfunding is such an amazing thing, and how it works so fantastically well. There was I'll give him a shout out because he's absolutely fantastic. If you guys look for Best of Sips Animated. Sips is a great guy on the Yogscast, and there's actually a channel dedicated to making little animated shorts based on his kind of adventures. And they're really funny, and he's really great at what he does. But recently his computer kind of broke, basically, so he put a message up on his YouTube channel, like any sort of like nice person would do, just kind of saying, "Hey guys, my computer's now broken. It's going to be a little while until I can give you any more videos. Sorry about that." And I think he got quite a few messages from people saying, "Well, no, I want more. Your stuff is amazing. How do I get some content? How do I get more content?" And I think eventually he put up a donation page, and the donation page covered like £350, I think it was, or something along those lines, which ultimately ended up it covered like a quarter or a third or something of his actual new computer build, which meant that he was able to he didn't have to wait and save the rest of the money for his computer, managed to get it all built, and he started doing more videos. And the cool thing about that was that not only is it obviously crowdfunding, but to reward people at the end of that, he then, because he was originally releasing videos maybe like once a week, because I imagine they're quite hard to make because it's all animation type stuff, even though the animation is quite basic, and it's still going to take a lot of time. But he ended up making some really, really cool stuff, and in saying thank you to people for actually donating, he made a video every single day for a week. So there was 7 new videos really recently which went out. He's absolutely great, so I strongly recommend you check him out. I have no affiliation with him, obviously, so I can't can't speak for him, but I just thought that was really nice, the way that he got the crowdfunding thing sorted out when people requested it. And I think that's the good thing about YouTube. I'm still a very new face to this, and I don't expect to kind of take off anytime soon, because it takes work, and anything short of having a massive kind of viral video influence, you don't really get a chance to make it in the world, and I don't make any money really at all out of doing this. So far I haven't received any money at all, even though I've been doing it for such a long time, and I do monetize my videos. Most of you probably don't see those adverts because you put adblock on, which unfortunately does mean I get no money at all for you watching the video. But that's by the by. I'm not kind of like talking about it to complain. The reason that I'm talking about it is because it just goes to show that although YouTube is a free kind of a place for free content to grow. Even though you're not expected to pay for anything to actually watch it, if you enjoy the content, then people will come along and will donate, which is, I think, really fantastic, and it goes to show the sort of like the light-hearted side of the internet, when someone's in trouble and when someone has developed a decent following and then struggles and says, "Hey guys, I'm really sorry, but there's nothing I can do right now. I'm stuck. You're going to have to wait some time." People say, "No, actually, I'm just going to give you some money so you can carry on making these videos," and that's what happened with the Best of Sips animated channel, which it makes you feel a little bit warm and fuzzy. So I think it'd be nice if we saw kind of like more of that kind of stuff going on. And the reason that I kind of brought up the sort of like the fact that I don't make any money was not for you guys to donate or anything. I'm not going to set up a donation page yet. There might be something I'll do later on if I start to need money for doing this, but at the moment it's just really just for the love of doing it, and for to see whether or not it's something that can take off and become a serious kind of career move, I guess. I mean, in the meantime, I'm at university, so I have no qualms with having to make ends meet or anything like that. So don't worry, I can live on super noodles for a little while yet. Ah, dear, oh dear. Anyway, let's just see if we can get to this chest here. There it is. Look, fantastic. We're getting there now. We've almost finished the entire lot, but I have just noticed that we have pretty much run out of... Why is there a boom, 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 boom going on? Is it because we're running out of faith, maybe? Oh. Well, it stopped now. But I did just let 2 people out. But we do have a full set of houses. Oh no, bar 3. Okay. Well, that's not too much of a problem anyway. Let's focus on that for just 2 minutes and see how well we can finish up here. 1 there. Go that way. Build more houses. And let's see what this card's all about. Family Society card. Now, we have a lot of this stuff. Felt. Get in there. And then meat. Get on over there as well, buddy. Yeah, fantastic. So we've almost got enough felt, and we've covered the meat card resource cost. Perfect. Okay. Well, fantastic. We'll carry on with our land sculpturing very shortly, but for now, the best thing for us to do is to claim a few of these people, probably actually the ones in this area, I think, and just sort of link up this this land. So let's do that. Connect up this land like this. I'm going to make it nice and smooth, rounded like that. There we go, that's good. And then this whole lot can just sort of like come out like that. There we go. Now, do we want to expand this out a little bit? Will that allow us to make any twofers? Or is it going to be just a bit too small? I think it's going to be a bit too small, really. Well, that's not a problem. Let's go back, actually. Let's do that. So that's actually just getting moved up a little bit like that. There, we can do that. And then we'll just sort of like cut this up. Oh, put that back a little bit. There we go. Can you just bring that back? Fantastic. Nope. There. And then bring this up a little bit. There you go. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Look at that. Really nice land. Okay. Well, that's now been connected. So, we'll go around and collect a few of these larger bubbles of civilization, wealth, and whatnot. And... You've been watching the CaffCast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to us if you like what you see. That way I'll know to make more and that you really like me. So, you've been watching the CaffCast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos.